Well, I'm alive. I don't know about that, but I'm here anyhow. All right. So, what should we start off with? Let me see these stories we have here. Most of it's about Trump. All right. Here's Trump's next move to start World War III and cause all kinds of havoc and the prices of everything. He wants to. He's going to take. He wants to take control of the Straits of Hormuz, and he wants to. And he says he's going to charge 20% for uh, tariffs on the cargo and everything that's on the ship. 20% of the value of the ship's cargo to get it through. And I'm saying to myself, I said, this prick is out of his mind. Do you think the world's going to put up with that? Do you have any idea how inflationary that would be to the world? Now, maybe we can absorb some of it because I'm sure he's not going to charge our ships. But the rest of the world can't absorb that. So they're going to have to fight. They're going to have to raise prices someplace along the line. So it's not going to happen, I don't think. But then again, I say a lot of things aren't going to happen, and that asshole gets them to go through. Just because he's Donald Trump, I guess. I don't know. Something wrong with my eye there. Oh, there we go. All right. I mean, can you see that? How's he going to collect it? They're going to pay before they get in the strait, and then what happens if the boat sinks? They're going to get a refund? This is stupid. Donald Trump is not a good businessman. He never was a good businessman. That's the problem. Everybody thinks he's this great businessman. He wrote the book of the deal. He was making money on TV lying and playing some cartoonish character of himself. He's not the genius everybody thinks. Okay. Hold on a minute. What just got disconnected? Something just got disconnected. Made an awful lot of noise. A lot of noise doing that. Let's see what we can find out here. Everybody stay calm. Okay. Two. I have no idea what was disconnected because everything appears to be working. So I don't know if I'm alive or dead or whatever. This is me being live. I have no idea what the frick's going on. I just got to notice that I've been disconnected. And my microphone's been disconnected, and I don't understand that. So we'll have to wait and see. It says disconnected. I don't know. I don't know where I can go to check it right now, but I think I'm okay. You go over here and you look at it, and it says I'm okay. So I don't know if I'm okay. I feel like I'm okay. We'll have to wait and see. I know. It's dumb, but that's the way things go with this YouTube situation, Still looking to find someplace else to go that's free and that I can get you interested in. But we'll see what happens. So we were talking about, the fee that Trump has decided to charge, and I don't understand how he can do that. I mean, that's almost unenforceable. You want to piss off. He likes the world. He likes things upset because when chaos exists, they don't ask questions about him, how his health is. They don't ask questions, or they'll accuse him of his mind going or something like that. But they won't ask about other things that he's trying to do. That like cost the elections. It'll take away from the ICE shootings. They're the ones that are starting the trouble, not the immigrants right now. ICE is going around shooting people, and that's got to stop. We're headed towards Germany, 1938. That's just not going to happen. We can't allow that to happen. But it looks that's what's going on. Secret police, Gestapo. Let's see, A B C D F H G H I, 3 letters apart from ICE and Gestapo. International criminal element. ICE. Oh God, people, we got to do something. I don't know what we're going to do here, but we got to do something, and soon. Okay, here we go. This is. I don't know if Iran is one of the 8 wars that we won, but if we won, how come we're still back fighting? Trump took a country that he could have gone in and tried some negotiations with, had he been civil. If he hadn't gotten rid of the Obama nuclear treaty, none of this would be going on right now. I'm not saying that treaty was good, but it gave him a basis to improve upon. What he did is he decided, no, that's not going to happen. I don't like Iran. I want the straits. I want the oil. I want everything. I want chaos. That's the big thing. He wants chaos because he does well in chaos. The rest of when things are normal, he can't function. And his dishonesty comes to the front very, very quickly. So with chaos, it's easier for him to hide the dishonesty of his deals with his family and crypto and everything else, and how he's making all his money on the side, selling all kinds of garbage out of the White House. None of this stuff is worth the power, the time to make it. So we'll have to see what happens there. His watches and everything else that he's selling. But people want to have it. Presidential mementos. Well, it's going to be probably something everybody's going to do from now on. But it's still kind of stupid, don't you think? But I keep hitting, if we won the war, if we won this war in the beginning when he said we won it and we disabled all the nuclear stuff and everything, why are we back fighting again? What's the purpose of fighting again? All right, we were negotiating. So they didn't like the people who were sailing the ships through. The ships didn't want to pay. And they hit a couple of ships. And then they got out, and then Trump went nuts. Now Trump has started, this little action is going to piss off a whole lot of people, folks. Including us, because it's going to start costing a lot of money for shit again, Just when everything was starting to settle back down again, he had to screw it up again. And it's got nothing to do, I don't think it has anything to do with nuclear weapons. I've reached the point where I've reached the point where I just don't believe it's about nuclear weapons anymore. I think it's just about his ego and his nobody can say, I don't think he's crazy. I think he's just doing dumb shit. I think he's stupid. Giving him crazy is giving him too much of an excuse for some of the stuff he does, which is just criminal in some extent. He loves power. He loves to wield it, and he doesn't care. And the people around him understand this, and they use it to their advantage. Everybody in that cabinet is making money the same way he is. Now he's pissed off at Patel because Patel got caught. That's the only reason he gets mad at somebody, when they get caught. If they kept doing it and they kept it under the table, like they should have, nice and smooth, the way Trump mostly does it. And he does it pretty much nice and smooth as he's screwing everybody. If he had done it the way he was supposed to do it, none of this would be happening right now. Kind of a little makes you a little nervous, doesn't it? That you realize that this doesn't have to be happening right now, but it is. Oh God, people. All right. Now he's doing the. There was an article about McCarthyism. I don't want to get into that because that's a long story. Most of you are too old too young to remember it, or too old to remember it. No, too young to remember it. I'm a little too old to be talking right now. Anyhow, he's trying to institute the Red Scare again. Why? Everything he's doing right now should be questioned with the words "why." There's no why. There's no explanation for it. There's no explanation for ICE shooting these people. There's no explanation for anything. No transparency. My ass. I just want somebody to tell me what the fuck is going on, and he's not doing that. You know, he's out of control, and that's a serious problem. You know, he's out of control. He has no idea what he's doing, and he's doing as much as he can to get away with. None of this is going to affect his legacy. His legacy is going to be ripped to shreds if anything other than a mega gets elected president. Everything will be destroyed. All right. Everything will be gone. In 20 years, nobody will know who Trump will be a footnote in history. 20 years from now, if that, if he's lucky to make a footnote in history. How many people know everything about Hitler? How much? If it wasn't for YouTube, nobody would ever talk about Hitler. All right, but the fact that there's people out there saying that Hitler might have been alive for a long time, maybe he's got descendants and all this other stuff. So that makes that makes people click on their videos and they make money. You know, they invest maybe $1,000 and they can make 100,000. You know, that's just the way that is. Not all of them are like that. I understand. Some of them actually believe this crap that Hitler survived and everything like that. You know, because I think Russia got rid of were the ones that got rid of the bodies, burned the bodies. All right, now Trump is going to war with the IRS. Trump tried to sue the IRS. A judge told him he was manipulating the evidence. He was manipulating the law. Basically, he called Trump out and said, "You're fraud. You're a liar. You're a thief. You're a crook." And this just goes on and on and on. And Trump doesn't care, you know, because he knows if it goes to the Supreme Court, he's going to win because he's got those people in his pocket. He's paying them, you know. I definitely don't know how Justice Thomas got in there in the first place. He's the most disgraceful judge in the history of the Supreme Court in terms of background and personal attitude and just out and out thievery. And he's got Trump's attitude. You can't touch me. Look at me. I'm rich and famous. You're nothing. That's just not right. You know, there's a judge that definitely needs to go to jail. The others are questionable attitudes, you know, so I don't know everything about them. It's not my knowledge of them doesn't go back as far as Justice Thomas, you know, to the day he was confirmed. And it was just absolutely amazing that he got confirmed, you know. But the Supreme Court used to be something that, you know, you could look at and you could admire it because it protected people. Now it's just another tool Trump uses to make money, you know, and that's disgusting. So I don't know, you know, how that battle's coming up. But this lower court, well, she's a federal court, but this judge just ripped him a new asshole and when she said her decision, published decision, what she said in it and whatnot. And it's true. It's all true. Does anybody really give a shit? Everything I read right now is everybody's waiting, excuse me, I'm sorry, for the midterms. And I've said this ever since they brought that up. If Trump is doing everything in his power, not to control them, to block the midterms. He's trying to get people to commit violence. He's trying to get people so upset at ICE that they'll attack ICE and he can declare martial law. Once he does that, democracy is done. Then there's only one solution: revolution. Violent revolution. That's what he wants to see. He wants the army to march through the streets with tanks and everything, running over children and everything like that. He doesn't care. You know, he wants to be Stalin. Or Pol Pot with the death of thousands of civilians, millions of civilians and whatnot. All right. You know, I want to come on here one day and not have to depress everybody, and not with the stuff that I have to say. You know, I I'm gonna try and think if I could do that. Find some stuff about animals or something that's happy and start talking about that because I'm really tired of this crap. You know, doesn't do any good for my psyche. I don't know whether it's helping you at all. In the meantime, folks, I'm out of here. Okay, so have a good day. Find the subscribe button, hit it, and we'll see what's going on. All right, take care.